y'all. That's it. Barbara said, let's go. All right, let's go then. So welcome to the call, everybody. Glad to see y'all coming into the room. Welcome to another training of those lessons from that powerful manual that y'all know we love. So let's get into another good training tonight, and it's gonna be a real good one. Real good one. So let's go ahead and get started so we will be able to utilize our time properly. So over to you, Barbara.
Right here is our disclaimer. It says trading. This is for futures and commodities, one-on-one trading group disclaimer. Trading and investing carries a high level of risk. You can lose some or all of your investment. Trading commodities or any other financial instrument may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. We accept no liability for any losses or damages you may incur. This means you alone are responsible for your actions in any trading or investing activity.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Mrs. Bora, are you available this evening?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Ready?
so I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay. So one of the quizzes for today, if you are looking for details about a futures contract regarding a particular commodity traded in the futures market, you will look for A, the news, B, reports, C, contract specifications, D, videos, E, not sure. So I'll read it again. If you are looking for details about a futures contract regarding a particular commodity traded in the market, you will look for which one of these? A, the news, B, reports, C, contract specifications,
Come on, y'all. Pam, what you say? Contract specs?
Contract specs.
Okay.
That's where I'd look.
Well, anybody got anything different from Pam? What you think, Johnny B? Was she right?
I believe so.
Yeah, great job, Pam. What else we got, Miss Thor?
Troy, you're muted.
You got that other? Oh, she muted.
Yeah, I think she's muted.
yes, I'm sorry, I was muted, speaking to myself. Okay, the next quiz. Which is considered to be the most important price? A, high, B, close, C, open, D, low, E, all of the above, F, none of the above, G, not sure. So I'll read it again. Which is considered to be the most important price? Is it A, high, or B, close? Is it C, open, or D, low, E, all of the above, F, none of the above, G, not sure.
Mm.
Okay, I see Jamal said C.
Closing.
Okay, somebody said close.
Somebody said close.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to say all of them. I don't know why, but I wanted to say all of them is important.
They are. All of them are important, Rashid. Which, which one is considered the most important? That's the question. Any more answers?
Okay.
Say
In the chat,
open.
I said,
Okay, I didn't make that out. What was that again?
okay.
Say open.
I hear somebody or you.
Yes, somebody said open. But in the chat here, we have a lot of different answers. We have B, we have C, we have E. Yeah, B,
Mm.
C, and E. B, C, and E are the ones that we have. So B is closed, C is open, E all of the above.
And I said B,
Okay.
but I can't wait to hear the answer.
And what's that, Alex? What's B?
Close.
B is closed, and C is open.
I've been waiting
Didn't
on
say
that all
B.
week.
Last
So
week.
Rashid says
I heard
C.
you say the close.
And the correct answer is B, close. Now, if you've been around for a while, you may have heard back a long time ago on one of our calls where Mr. Ed McBride went over this and talked about this in detail. But I mentioned this last week when we were talking about the price chart when Barbara was sharing the screen and on bar chart. And when I was going over the price chart, I mentioned that the most important price was the close. But what I want to do, since Barbara bringing that to my attention about the different answers in the chat, to help y'all understand, I think I want to give you an analogy why the close is the most important. And Rashid made a great point. They all are important, but one is considered the most important. That's the close. The market can open, trade, as volatile as it won't, be all over the place, up, down. But what's most important is where did it finish at? Where did it close at? Where did the market close? Is the most important price. So I hope this analogy helps you. I'm gonna give you an analogy to kind of think of, to kind of put it into perspective. I want you to think about a race. Don't matter what kind of race, car, motorcycle, foot, don't matter what foot race, any kind of race. Just think about a race, for example. And you know what? I think I'll use a foot race because it's gonna help me bring in the last point I want to make. So when a race starts, and they come out of the starting block, come out the gates. You can come out of the gate with a good start, or you can come out with a okay start. But I want you to consider the start of the race the opening. That's the open. And in that race, you may be doing well and take the lead and get out front in the race. And I want you to think of that race, that lead. When you're in that lead, I want you to consider and think of that as the high. That's the high. And at some point, the other racers may come and catch up with you and even pass you, and you could fall all the way behind and be in the back during the race. And I want you to consider that the low. But what's most important in that race?
How you
Somebody
finish.
tell me how you finish. You can open up the race and go out front, be leading the race and be way out in front of everybody and fall behind. But if you don't cross the finish line first, it's all about how you close, how you finish.
Mm-hmm.
That's most important. You ever seen a relay race? Anybody ever seen a relay race, whether it was in the Olympics or wherever you have different legs in the relay race. Who runs the last leg on the team when they have a relay race?
The fastest?
The fastest person on the team is who the coach puts to run the last leg, because that's the most important part. They want to finish and close out the race the best they can, right? The close is the most important. Don't matter if you start out in front, take the lead, fall behind. It's about the close, the finish. And it's the same thing when it comes to the market. If you were reading the manual, especially the manual that my mentor wrote, you will constantly keep seeing where it keeps talking about closing above, closing below, crossing and closing above the trend line. Constantly keep mentioning close, 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 because it's the most important price. Not necessarily the open or the high or the low, how it's trading all day. At the end of the session, when the market get ready to close, the settlement, the close is the most important. Does this make sense to everybody?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and that's one of the
Definitely.
reasons. There's more. What was that? Who was that? Was that Rashid or somebody? I thought I heard somebody saying so. Okay. So, Thor, I think we had one more. Did we have one more before the bonus question, or that was it? I think it's
No,
the
that was
bonus
it.
question.
That was it, and now it's the bonus question.
Okay.
Okay? So we have a bonus question. And it is. Now, that being said, keep in mind that I'm going to be giving a special prize to the person who has the correct answer, the first one. And it's, what is significantly different about the current series versus other series we have done? Okay, so we had other series, and this is a new series. And therefore, we want to know what is significantly different about the current series versus other series we have done. Okay.
You know what, Miss Thor?
Uh-huh.
I got. Wait a minute. Go ahead. Was that Jamal getting ready to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say something, but I was going to let you. Did you want to go ahead and finish, and then I say something? Then I say.
Yeah. I want to let y'all know this was a very long, thought out quiz. I thought about this hard over and over and over. I even had to get some help from V with this question. And I want y'all to know that I come to a conclusion that I don't have to redo this quiz. This question, I want to do it over because it actually has several answers. Everybody gave good answers that were actually correct answers. It wasn't the one I was looking for, but every answer y'all gave was actually correct. So I need to have a question that only has one answer, not multiple answers. So, especially when I'm ready to give away this prize so bad, but I'm giving away a big prize to the person that gets it right. So I need to do right by the question. So I'm gonna redo it this week and give y'all another chance. We're gonna do another bonus question. But everybody had great answers. I mean, and they were all correct. So I didn't see not one wrong answer. But I'm gonna do another one this week. So y'all keep watching out for the bonus question. Jamal, did you want to say something, or are you okay?
I was going to answer the question, but since you won't give it out again, and you looking for the most significant thing, right? Just like you was looking for the most significant way to go open and close in the market. So you looking for the most significant. All right.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give a whole totally different question this time that had one answer. There was multiple answers to this question. That's why I feel I should redo it. 'Cause all y'all were correct what y'all said,
Okay.
even though I was looking for something specific.
Okay.
And let me tell you what I mean by that. Actually, what I wanted somebody to say is that this is the first time that we've done trainings on the lessons. Have any, I was seeing if anybody had noticed, I start out every call by saying, welcome to another training of the lessons. So since the very beginning of these calls, we've always taught the lessons, okay, from 1 to 10. And this time we've been focused on not trying to teach you how to trade, but we're trying to train you on how to trade. And that's the difference that we've been implemented this go around. That's what I was looking for, somebody to recognize that we've never been doing trainings before. So if you notice these calls, sometimes we have one specific thing that we train on the whole call. And before we used to be trying to go through the whole lesson, and it was so much that we don't feel like y'all were really getting it. So that's why we're doing it this way this time. But that's what I was looking for. But nobody gave a wrong answer. All right.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, Barbara. This week
Sure.
we got some real important information this week. Am I correct?
Yes, you are very correct.
So here's what I want to say before we even get going. I want to know if y'all can give us y'all undivided attention tonight, because the training that we're gonna be covering tonight is so important that I want y'all to really pay attention. I know a lot of times when we on the call, we be multitasking and stuff, and I know you ladies are better at it than us. Y'all can multitask, but you need to really pay attention and take good notes on what we're going over tonight, okay? Because it's that important, okay? And what's this right here, Barbara? Is that some kind of book or something?
Yes. This is the books of
Ooh,
all trading.
yeah. I can't stress this enough. If you are serious about learning how to trade, you need to get this book. You need to get it. You need to have it in your possession that you can go to. And it's great to come on here and get the training, but we training from those lessons that's in that book. So it's important to have it, you know, so you understand what it is we're training about. So if you don't have this book, do yourself a favor and get it. All right.
Excellent.
And it's available everywhere too. That's this weekend, right? Coming up.
That's all the way next year, 2026, April.
Man, well, you see how anxious I am. That's why I even got it in my background, because I'm ready. Well, my favorite. So this event, guys, is going to be, in my opinion, and I'm gonna make it my business to make it the best one. It's gonna be the best one yet. We've had some awesome retreats, but will definitely be the best one. And what I love about this one, this is the first time we made some special arrangements on the registration, right, Barbara?
Yes, we did. We now have a payment plan through Affirm for your registration ticket. So that's a new thing. We've never offered that before.
Yeah. So I want to see everybody in the building. I'm telling you, you haven't been to Arizona, here's your opportunity to come to Arizona. And I am looking forward to having all of y'all in Arizona and welcome you into the house. All right. So let's get going, Barbara. Let's talk about what you got on these slides for us tonight.
All right. So tonight is still the series on risk management, contract specifications page. It's all about point value. This has a lot to do with your risk management. From this point forward, we're going to be giving small quizzes, small homework assignments for everyone in the form of a survey, probably about 5 or 10 questions to test your knowledge, to see what you've learned, especially on the risk management point. So we would appreciate if you attempt to answer those questions. Every week you should get something in the group. If you don't have your notifications on, please turn them on so that you can participate. And that way we would know what you understand and what you need help on. And if it's something, and we'll go over each quiz every call. And if you got something wrong, you can ask your questions during the Q&A. All right, and
You know
this,
what, Bob?
yes, sir.
If you don't mind, let me say something right here before we jump in this, because it's important. Does everybody understand why we focus on risk management so much?
Yep.
When we go over the rules, y'all hear Johnny
Yes.
B saying,
Yes, I do.
Yep.
great. Y'all hear Johnny B going over the rules saying how much all of these rules are going back to risk management. All these rules are going back to risk management. We go over that and we cover it so much because this is the number one reason why most people who get in the market and start trading lose money. You can go online and pull up why people lose money when it comes to trading, why most of the people that get into trading lose their money, and it's all about not understanding proper risk management. So we put a lot of emphasis and a lot of focus on it. And this word you see right in the middle of this slide, point value, is so important. So important. We've had previous calls where we were talking about some other things, and Jamal asked a couple of questions because he was trying to understand the point value. And I need y'all to understand. That's why I asked for your attention. And I have to be completely honest with you. This is the part that's so serious. If you don't understand point value, you can't trade. It's just that simple. If you don't understand point value, there's no way you can trade. How would you be able to do proper risk management if you don't know the value of each point? When the market moves this amount of points, what is the value of those points? You have to know that. Does you no good to be looking at the business channel and they got the ticker scrolling across and you see the market was up X amount of points and you don't know what those points equal. It means nothing to you. Well, you can't trade. No way you could put a proper stop loss. There's no way you would know if you keeping the golden rule if you don't know the point value. That's why this is very important. And I ask you if you could pay close attention tonight. So I just wanted to say that before we get into it. But thank you, Barbara. You can go ahead now.
You're welcome. And this comes from lesson 8 and lesson 9 in the manual, futures and commodities.
All right. John, you want to kick us off or you want me to?
I'll kick us off.
All right.
Okay, a point value is known as an increment in price. A movement can be in the direction of profit or loss with a momentary gain or loss. All right. Now, what does that mean? I talked last week about leverage. How much commodity is in a contract and what the point value is, meaning for every point that it goes up or down, depending on which way you're in the market, you're either going to have a profit of so much or a loss of so much. And it's important to know. All right. So next slide, please. I just got through saying A point value is determined by the contract size and the tick size. And each commodity has a different volume, and each commodity determines the point value and can be and will be different for the most part, depending on whether you're in grains or livestock or metals or whatever. All right. So we'll get into that. Let's next slide.
Hey, Johnny, before you move on, let me ask you something about this. When you the contract size is just as important. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Very important. Yes.
Okay. Now we talked about this last week. We always kind of teach corn because it's the easiest, or the grains. It's 5,000 bushels. Okay. That's the contract size. The tick size, all right, for every quarter of a cent, it equals 12.5 dollars, right? Now we'll go into this, but it's the easiest for us to teach. But when you get into different contracts, the contract size is different. For instance, livestock is 40,000 pounds. Feeder cattle is 50,000 pounds. Bitcoin is another. And gold is another. So the volume of that contract times the tick size represents the value, right? So how can I, if I don't know the tick size and I don't know the point size, how can I figure out what my profit and loss might be, or where I should put my stops, right? What is my position in the market? Am I long, short, right? And depending on that, there's some more things that we can talk about, but the reality is how much money or how much money can I risk in order to get a certain amount of gain based on the movement of points. All right, next. Do you want to take this?
I want you to keep going if you don't mind. You're doing great.
Okay. So how do we calculate the value? And how do we, so the contract size times the tick size equals the point value, right?
Johnny, can you say that again?
The contract size times the tick size equals the point value.
Are you saying contract and volume is the same?
Not volume,
Okay.
the contract size. In other words, on corn, it's 5,000 bushels, right? Let me
Okay.
ask you a question.
Yeah, Johnny?
Yeah, hang on a second.
Contract size determines how much that contract controls of that commodity. So just know that the contract size tells you how much of that commodity that contract is controlling. All right.
So I'm sorry, is it the volume times the tick size that tells you what? The point value?
No, the size of the contract.
Okay.
So, for example, Johnny was just talking about corn. So let's stay with corn, for example. He mentioned that the contract size is 5,000 bushels.
Right.
So if you were to buy one contract of December corn, it controls 5,000 bushels of corn. And then we look at the contract specifications and we see that the tick size, every tick is $12.50.
Right.
So if you were to, as Johnny was mentioning, if you were to multiply the contract size, which is 5,000,
Mm-hmm.
times the tick size, which is
$12.50.
$12.50.
Right.
Wait. That's not the tick size. Okay.
Oh.
Right. Hang on just a second. Okay. So if the contract size is 5,000,
Mm-hmm.
the tick size is 0.0025. Right? It's a quarter of a penny. Right? And a quarter of a penny, right, times 5,000 is $12.50. So our per contract, one tick equals $12.50. And there's 4 quarters in a penny.
Mm.
And 4 times $12.50 equals 50. Right?
Okay, right.
That's $12.50, and then that's $25, and then that's $37.50, then that's $50.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so see, there are 100 cents in a dollar, right? But a tick size, if you look on the contract specs, it says it's 0.025, which is a quarter of a cent. Okay. And a quarter of a cent times 5,000 equals $12.50. And if there's 4 quarters in a penny, each penny moved 4 times $12.50 equals 50. Now, I know it confuses everybody. So in the contract specs, it does the math for you. Can we bring up a contract specs for corn real quick?
Does everybody know how to get to the contract specs?
So this
Yeah.
is the bar chart
Yes, I
page,
do.
your home screen. Gonna click futures. I'm not logged in, by the way. Gonna click futures, and I'm gonna come over here to grains,
Yeah.
because that's where we're going at, to corn. And it's gonna take me to the different commodities and the groupings for grain. They're all here. But we're gonna focus on corn. So I'm gonna click the first one, corn, December 25. Then these are all the different months that you can trade for corn. And we're gonna go to December. And here is your price overview page. And if you scroll it down, this is your contract specification section on that page. Okay, Mr. John.
Okay, so where it says tick size, well, it says contract size is 5,000 bushels. Right? And a tick size is 1/4 cent per bushel, which is 0.0025. Would everybody agree with that? And if you
Yes.
multiply 0.0025 times 5,000, that equals $12.50. So that's why it says $12.50 per contract. Okay.
Okay.
And then you can easily calculate the point value by them telling you it's $50. So if you divide 50 by 1250, that's 4/4. Right? So for every quarter, remember where it says, scroll up and look at the price. Okay, see where it says, well, 422-0, that means it closed even, right? Or I'm sorry, it settled right at 422. That was down 3-6. So that's 3 cents or 3 points and 3/4 of a cent. Okay, or 3 times 1250, right? So it's important to know the contract size, what the tick value is, and what the point size is. So can you go to Bitcoin, for instance?
Hold on, Johnny, if you don't mind. I want to make sure everybody just picked up on what you just said and make sure everybody understood this. And I want to ask the question right here. Based on what Johnny said, the market was down 3.6. So that will be 3 points. And the 0.6 will represent the ticks. Based on what Johnny just explained to us, who can tell me how much coin was down? What was the monetary value? What is the 3.6 in reference to money? First of all, what's the 3 representing? How much is the 3? 3 points.
1250 each.
Like 0.70075.
No, the 3 represents what? 3 points.
3 points.
That would be that would
3
be
whole
the,
points, right? It
that would be
equals
the
3 whole points.
1250 times 3.
No, the tick value is 1250. The point value is 50.
It'll be 150.
There you
Okay.
go. Now,
Now,
what about
what
the
is-
tick size?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now what's the second half? It's down 3 points. It's also down 0.6. What's the 0.6? What's that value?
So is that the 0.6 times the 0.0025?
No.
No, divided by.
What's the tick value? We know what the size is.
Right.
How much is every tick?
Oh, every tick is 0.0025
No, that's
Times.
the tick.
times the
That's a tick
3.6.
size,
No,
Pam.
no, you're right. You're right. Let's carry that out. That is right. It is 0.0025 times 5,000,
Mm-hmm.
which is $12.50
Correct.
Mhm.
times 3.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, times 6.
3.6,
Or,
right?
no, it would be times 3.
Okay.
There's 4 quarters,
Mm-hmm.
2, 4, 6, and a whole. Right. So 6 is 3 quarters.
Right.
So 3 times 1250 is what?
37.50.
Okay. So first part, second half equals what?
How much was it down in total? What was the total?
That 150 plus the 37.50?
Correct.
There you go.
So that was 187.50.
Perfect. Does everybody understand that? Everybody understand where she got that answer from?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we gotta run that back though. But I do. It's just something that we gotta just like kind of do a few times in order for it to really lock in.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
It
gotta
makes
do it
sense,
once
though.
once over, just so that way we get the ticks and misses where we.
Met the guy and she said she turned on over like.
All right. So somebody talking in the background, we can hear your conversation. If you can mute out, please. Thank you. Yeah, Johnny, that's why I didn't want to go right quick. I felt like just one more time we need to cover this if you
No,
if you
I
don't
agree
mind.
with you. I
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
with
So Johnny, come again with with the point value and the tick size one more time. Right? Everybody pay attention again now.
you. Okay. This is where I don't want people to be confused, but it's important to know. The tick size, all right? Let me see something. Let me see if I can get my annotator.
Can I ask? Okay.
The tick size is 1/4 of a cent per bushel, right? So that's 0.0025. That's 1/4 of a cent times 5,000. Which equals $12.50. Oh, I can't annotate very well, can I?
All right.
Right. So it's already is explained for you. Right. But I want you to understand. So the tick size is a 1/4 of a cent or $12.50 per contract. All right. So we know that there's 4 quarters in a penny. So we know that the point value is $50 per contract, or 4 times 12.50, right? But we know it's on, and it's when you're dealing in options, and this thing's going crazy, for every 1/4 of a cent, it's $12.50 per contract. For every point, it's 50. You don't have to do the math every time on 5,000 bushels. It's done for you. But the question where this gets me messed up is let's go to live cattle, okay?
Real quick before we go, John, let me ask a question,
Come-
if you don't mind, just to make sure. Barbara, can you scroll up to the top where the price is again? And I want everybody to look at the market close. December coin closed at $4.22, $4.22. So you turn on your TV. It just so happen you got the business channel on, and they got the ticker going across the TV, and you see that December coin was down 3 points. I want you to ignore the 6. It's down 3 points. How many points? 3 points.
3.
Okay. Now, how much is coin down on that day?
$150.
Yeah.
Very good. It's down $150 based on being down 3 points, because every point equals how much?
$50.
$50. Now, the tick size is that -6. If that said -2, that would mean $12.50. If it said -4, that'll be $25. But it says -6. How much is that?
6 times 1250.
No.
No, wrong. Hold on. 6 times 0.0025.
Now, okay, this is something y'all gotta learn.
I'm confused. though.
Take the 6 out of your mind.
Okay.
You got 2 equals a quarter, 4 equals a half, and 6 equals 3/4.
Oh, okay.
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 The reality is, for each 1 tick is an 1/8. Okay. So 1 tick is an 1/8, 2 is a quarter, 3 is 3/8, 4 is a half, 5, okay, 6 is 3/4. So it's you're taking a penny and divide. We talked about this last week. We're taking a penny and we're dividing it by 8. Okay. So remember, this 6 would be 6/8. So don't think of it as a 6. Think of it as 3/4. Or, $3 $12.50.
Hello?
You know, Johnny, I don't know why they switched it like this, Johnny, because it used to be that way a long time ago.
It used to be at 8.
It used to be where it would say 3 is down 3 3/4 and down instead of 3-6, but they switched it to, to the decimal versus the fraction, or the fraction versus the decimal. Yeah.
Does that help
But
y'all understand it?
No.
Okay.
I know when I first saw it, it came to me real easy, because I guess I did, in my mind, I really looked at the tick size like like my gas tank in my car. I got a 1/4 tank, I got a 1/2 a tank, 3/4 of a tank, or I got a full tank. And that's how I looked at the tick size. $12.50,
All right,
$25,
so I'm gonna be
$37.50,
honest.
Hold on.
$50.
Man, I've been trying to say something.
I'm right there with you, Jamal.
Yeah,
Well,
so
let me
look,
this
so
down.
hold on. So all right, so check this out. When I see 6, I thought it was 6 1/4. So that's why I'm thinking, okay, that's a tick and that's a point and a half. That's a point and 2 ticks, because a tick is a quarter of a cent. So a tick, 6, quarter, 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 quarter. That's how I looked at it. But now it's a different fraction, is what I'm hearing. A different fraction piece is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, because you're saying that the 6 is now for there's 8 quarters and 1 cent.
No, there's 8 eighths.
8 eighths. Lord Jesus.
Okay. But so 2 eighths is a quarter.
Okay.
4 eighths is a half. 6 eighths is 3 quarters.
Hold up. I'm gonna stop playing. In school, fractions and decimals is where I had a lot of my problems. So now that it's been flipped, because all I saw quarters, and I understood that. I understand that 4 ticks would each equal 1 point, which would equal $50.
That's correct.
1 tick is $12.50. Another tick, $12.50. Another tick, $12.50. Another tick, $12.50. I do know 4 quarters is a whole. So now we're looking
That's
at
it.
right. So
That's
now
it.
6, it changes the whole fractional piece. Correct.
Right. And
Okay.
that's why we're trying to get you to understand why
Man.
it says 6 instead of
Yeah.
3 quarters,
Yeah,
instead of a 3. Because it really can trade 5 eighths. And it really can trade, 3 eighths. But
So what is the fact that it changes the fractions? So what is the deal that changes the fractions from 1 quarter to an eighth?
I wish I could show you if somebody was to put in an order, and let's say somebody bids 42 or 422.6, all right? And somebody bids 422.4, and somebody asks 422.6. If somebody comes in the middle and says, I'll bid 442.5, and it goes through, then you will actually see that trade. It's when you put your bid and ask in, but most people put them in on the quarters. But you will see sometimes when it's up 3.5 or 3.3 or 3.1, you will see that.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So that 425 that I'm looking at right now, like it says 425 up here where it says day high. 425-6. When it gets to -6 is when it stretches the pennies fraction out. So it stretches it from 1 quarter to an eighth. It just starts to stretch the pennies. That's what I'm saying?
That's correct. So
Okay.
if it goes 425.8, 425.8 is actually 426, because there is, there is 8 eighths, and 8 eighths equals 1 whole. Correct?
I hear you, but I think that's going to take a lot of practice right
Okay.
there.
I hear you, but I'm confused. I'm gonna stop playing. Yeah,
The thing we've got to
I'm
know
confused.
is there's 2, 4, and 6. Each tick is 2 eighths.
Oh man, stop playing.
Okay. Each tick is actually 2 eighths of a penny,
Which is really a fourth.
which is a fourth,
Okay.
and a half, and 3/4, and a whole.
Right.
I'm telling y'all, if you want to make this simple and keep it simple in your head, where your mind may not calculate it as easy as Johnny V can do it, the easiest way to calculate this, just switch it from decimal over to fraction. And it's more easier for you to get it. Quarter, a half, 3/4, and a whole. It's gonna take you much longer trying to understand it any other way.
Got it.
Switch it over to fraction. At 1250 that Jamal was talking about, 25, 3750, 50.
Yeah.
1250, and move another one. 25, another tick, 3750, another tick. It's a whole point, $50. If you switch it to fractions, if you're not like this person that's real good at math, the fraction is gonna be easier for you to understand. I'm sorry that they changed it to the decimal, but it used to be fraction. It used to actually say corn down 3 3/4. You see a 3 with the slash and the 4. But for some reason, years ago, they changed over to the decimal. And it makes it a little difficult for some people to pick it up when they first start looking at it. It takes a minute. But fractions are easier, in my opinion, when you're trying to understand. Barbara, let me ask you a question. You you work with the tick size a lot because the platform you trade on, you have to know the tick size. Do you have to use the decimals or the fractions, or you use both on your platform?
You could use either one. It's just how you derive to the number of ticks. It's a certain formula that I use to get the number of ticks, which the dollar amount equals the same amount as the number of points in the market. So that's going to be for another class where I can show them that. Because keep in mind, some platforms don't allow, every platform isn't like TradeStation where you just put in points. You have to put in ticks, but which is your stop loss. But those ticks have to equal the amount of money you're willing to risk in the market. But that's a whole nother class that we're gonna show you guys how to do that, how to determine that.
So, Barbara, when I see this, I'm gonna tell you how I calculate it in my mind. Because I still stay with the fractions, even though they switched it. When I see that corn was down 3, that's 6, immediately to me, corn was down 3 3/4. That's how my mind sees it.
Right. It just depends on, some people do better with fractions, some people do better with decimals, but you can determine it either way. You still can get to the same answer, but it's just what works best for you.
Because when I when I see the 6, I see 1/4 6 times. That's
right. Right. Like Mr. Johnny said, a really easy way for you to remember is 2, 4, 6, 8. That's a really easy way, but you just have to know, what does the 6 represent? The 8 is a whole, is a whole that takes you to the next number. A 2 is $12.50. A 4 means $25. And so the 6 is $37.50, and then the 8 is a whole other cent. So you have to, if that's easier for you to do 2, 4, 6, 8, then do it that way.
And that's the only way, that's the only thing you're gonna see. Matter of fact, Barbara, go back to the previous screen on the price chart where we can see all the different contracts trading. Okay. Now, if you can zoom in and look at where it says the last And even the next column where it says the change, you're gonna only see the 2, the 4, the 6, and the 8. Because the 2, like Barbara said, 2 represent 1250, and the 4 gonna represent 25, and the 6 is gonna represent 3750, and then it's gonna be a whole cent. That's why I said when I see that 6, it's automatically 3/4 to me. So I know, like Pam said, the 3 was $150. And if the 6 represents 3/4, that's 1250, 25, 3750. So I know it was down 3, which is 150. The -6 is 3750. Corn was down $187.50 Friday. And that's how it's calculated. But just keep in mind, the point value is $50 and the tick size is 1250.
Right.
I hope that makes sense to y'all, because
It's making more sense now.
Yeah, it make a lot more sense now. Still feel like, we got to probably do it a couple more times, but definitely make more sense that way.
Well, wait till we
Yeah.
move to another commodity.
Yeah.
That's what I was ready to say.
Starting to get better.
Every market is different, so
One of them's
you go to
different.
another one, you have to start all over
Yeah.
again.
And that's
Yikes.
and Barbara, that's why I
That's
wanted to
crazy.
come to this screen so we could go over like 2 or 3 of them. So okay, we don't went over that one multiple times.
Let's go
So
to
we know
livestock real quick.
we know what
Livestock.
December did. Well, let's go. You going to livestock?
Yeah, just real quick. We want to look at contract specs.
Okay.
Okay. So now the tick size is even smaller, 0.00025. Okay. But how big is the contract?
40,000.
40,000 pounds.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So each tick is $10.
It's $10. Yep.
Okay. So if you multiply 40,000 times 0.00025, you will get $10.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the kicker. How many times will 10 go into 400?
40.
Okay. So what does that mean?
One whole tick is $40.
Not one whole tick. One whole tick is 10. I mean,
Oh,
well,
The contract is
one tick is $10.
one tick is $10. Okay.
Okay. So what is the point value? Take
It's 400. The point
right.
value is 400.
So what did we do when we took the tick size and divided it, by 50, right? It was 4, right?
Right.
All right. So is each point then $1 here?
Dude.
See the confusion?
Yeah.
Okay. But if we don't know if it goes up a penny, right? So let's look at it this way.
Mm.
40,000 times 0.01 is $400. So every time this moves a penny, right? Am I right there, Mr. Wright?
Absolutely.
Every time it moves a penny,
It's
there's
$400.
there's $400.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you see the difference in the difference between corn and live cattle?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to feeder cattle. And then we can go to copper and a few others real quick. It's 50,000 pounds here. So each point value is 500. Okay. So now let's go to copper, since we're all looking at that. And folks, I got to tell you, it's something I still got to learn. You know, it's something we have, every time we look at a contract, we have to look, because it's different. £25,000. So guess what? What's the point value here?
$25,000?
$1,000. Good God Almighty, boy.
So how much is each point? $1, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
For every dollar move on 25,000 pounds is $25,000. So that for every dollar move. But guess what? Your tick sizes broke up smaller. It's $12.50. So how many 12.50s are there in a dollar? All right.
8. How many 12.50s in a dollar?
There's 100 pennies in a dollar.
You say how many 12.50s are in the dollar?
No. I'm sorry. How many 12.50s are there in 25,000?
Oh, okay. You got them trick questions there, bro.
So 2,000?
0.0005.
Oh, I did it wrong.
So do you see why it's important to do the math?
Yes.
But let's just take a look at the movement of copper. It doesn't move too many. It usually doesn't move too many pennies, but it did one day. Tell me how many people that were wrong the market lost their ass. Excuse me.
Lost their ad.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
In July when it
Quite a
dropped.
few.
Yeah, boy.
Bunch of people got stopped out there, I can bet you. And it may not have stopped out at their price. Because remember, when you get your stop, it stops. It sells at market. Correct, Delvin?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But guess how many people that were short the market, what did they do? They were happy little campers, weren't they?
They took home a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Well, I really want y'all to understand this because, like I mentioned at the very beginning, how important it is to know and understand the point value. So we may continue with point value for another training next week before we move on to the next thing, because that's how much I want y'all to make sure you get this. And we went over our time, but I think it was important that we did because what we had to go over tonight is so important. And before we close it out, Barbara, can you go back to corn? Because I want y'all to focus on getting this one down. If you can get this one down, then you can move on to learning others. And if you can go to that price chart again, all the different contracts for corn, Barbara. I just want to go over a couple more examples. We went over December multiple times, but let's go to the next contract that's trading. That's March 26th. And you see that the market closed $4.37. And you see the -4. That's where the market closed at, $4.37. -4. Over to the right where it says change. The market was down 1-4. Can someone tell me how much March corn was down and the monetary value?
Which one are you looking at again?
I'm looking
March
at,
26th?
okay, it was 1-2, not 4.
Okay, that's why I was asking. Thank you.
March 26th, my fault, y'all. Down 1-2. How much was March corn down?
75?
1-2. If you need to do it like in 2 parts, do it in 2 parts. It was down 1-2. How much was it down?
150.
What you say, Jamal?
150.
Okay, how many points was it down? First, let's go over the points again.
Okay, the
How many
point
points
was,
was it down?
it was down 1.5.
Is it 62.50?
That's correct.
That's correct. Who said 62.50?
Hold on. What?
Who was that?
Alice.
Alice. Excellent. It was down 1 point. We already determined that 1 point equals $50.
$50. Right.
It was down 1 tick. 1
Oh.
point, 1 tick.
2.
That's what
That's
the
one. That's
-2.
1250.
That's 1250.
That's right.
How much is 50 plus 1250?
6250.
6250. That's how Alice got that number.
Man, that's crazy.
You remember how I said when I see the -2, that's 1250. When I see the -4, that's $25.
Correct.
When I see the -6, that's $37.50.
Yep.
That's what I see when I see it. That's
I
why,
see it clearly now.
And I will say I
yeah,
did use what you said, Mr. Devin. I wrote it down.
that,
12.50, 25, 37.50, and 50, 2468. And then I added.
exactly.
That was
Yeah,
easier for
that's what I see when I see that, y'all. So let's go down to March 27. That's 2027, March coin. The market closed at $4.72 even.
750.
And the change, it was down -6, down 3/4 on the day. How much did you say, Pam?
3750.
Perfect. That's what I want to hear before we get off this call. Excellent. It was down 37.50. Was it down the whole point?
No.
No, that
3/4 of a
Three-quarters
point.
point. Very good. Johnny, that's what we want to hear when we get off this call. So let's go one more and I'm gonna let y'all go. One more. Okay. Let's go with May 27. It closed at 479.6. It was down 2 points. How much was it down?
$100.
$100.
Very good. Very good. Is it coming together for y'all?
Yes.
Can you
Can we
can you repeat that 0.6?
0.6, 37.50. So remember I said when I see the -2, that represents 12.50. And I see the 4, that's $25. And when I see the -6,
Okay. So it's
that's
the 3.
$37.50.
Okay. And I was thinking the 6, but it's the 3. It's half of that. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
So
you
you
got
just
me.
keep
All
on
right.
adding every, you keep on adding 1250 as we get higher.
Yeah, there you go. So let's close it out with September 27. We're gonna go home with September 27. Closed at $4.64 -2. The market was down 1-6.
87.50.
Well, look at y'all. Look at y'all.
Hamburger.
Y'all got it now?
Yeah.
Everybody got this?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
Amen.
yeah, a little bit more practice and it's in the bag.
It's making sense a little bit more?
Yeah, the
Yes, sir.
fractions help a lot.
Yeah. Switch it to fraction. I'm telling you, you'll get it faster.
Great lesson.
Yeah. I'm glad y'all
have it
stayed
all.
on with us. I know we went over tonight, but I'm glad y'all stayed on. Barbara, did you didn't have nothing else on the slide for us to go over, right? I know we went to bar chart, but
No,
were you through? Okay,
no,
great.
we were finished.
I thank y'all for getting it. I think it's making sense. The more we keep going over it. What you think, Barbara?
Yes, I am so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to close this call off with that, with that knowledge, with that understanding. Remember, the close is the most important, right? Y'all closed it out perfect. So just know this, guys. Just know that the more you go to the specs and look at this stuff, it's gonna start making sense. And you gotta know the point value if you're gonna trade. You gotta know how much each point is when the market moves up or down if you're gonna be trading. You'd be completely lost if you don't know that. So that's why we want to stress and put emphasis on this, because this is all part of risk management. I want to thank you, Johnny, man. Excellent job tonight. I mean, breaking it down, and I wish we could understand it like you do, man. But I appreciate it, man. I really do. All right, everybody. I hope you got value from the call tonight.